Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Barely a day after Raila Odinga held his successful mass action in Kenya and his supporters rallied behind him in calling upon President William Ruto to open the IEBC servers so that we can know who won the August polls, and also to compel him to reduce the cost of living and to stop the unilateral manipulation of the IEBC to appoint his own people. The ripple effects of that mass action is not only being felt in Kenya, but it is felt even above the borders. In Uganda, the members of the Forum for Democratic Change, one of the parties in Uganda, could not fail but to notice that already effects were there. This is what is reported, that leaders allied to the Opposition Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, in Uganda, urged President Yoweri Museveni to intervene after protest in Kenya on Monday, March 20th. According to the leaders, the riots could affect the economy of Uganda if they continue further, noting that business was disrupted at the Ugandan border district of Busia. The party's deputy spokesperson John Kikonyongo, while addressing the media on Monday, March 20th, urged Museveni to lobby the East Africa Parliament to resolve the situation before it escalates further. This is what he said: "We entrust the government of Uganda to think about the situation in Kenya more seriously. They shouldn't take it for granted because it has a lot of effects on our economy." So those are the leaders from Uganda. You all know that Uganda is a landlocked country and they depend on Kenya solely for their imports. Goods must pass from Kenya to go to Uganda. This is not the first time Ugandans are feeling the effect of political altercations in Kenya. In 2007, when there was a ruffle between the former president, the late President Mwai Kibaki, and Raila Odinga, members allied to Raila Odinga interfered with the railway. And this really vexed Museveni. He had to talk about it because that also affects how goods are ferried along Kenya-Uganda railway. So it has come, the reality has come to them again, and they are saying that the Museveni should rally the East Africa Legislative Assembly, because it's in Uganda, so that they can talk about the Kenyan situation. Now, what is very interesting is that the cries have started coming, yet it is only one day. And when this was happening, Raila had not mentioned that it will be taking place twice a day, because the effects were felt along the Kenya-Uganda border, because traders basically avoided that area for fear of further escalation of violence. But now Raila Odinga announced further changes. Instead of the Monday as it was expected, Raila said that now these demonstrations are going to take place twice in a day. The demonstration will be taking place on Monday and Thursdays. In Kenya, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who had always trivialized the idea of going for mass action, changed tune and he had a very sharp U-turn. Pleaded with Raila Odinga to call off these demonstrations because, according to him, within one day, Kenya lost 2 billion Kenya shillings. If you calculate that, it means that if Kenyans are going to go for the mass actions twice in a week, that will be 8 billion shillings. If Kenya loses, on 2 days will be 4 billion shillings. In a week, that will be 16 billion shillings. And this is what Raila wanted them to understand, that when he called upon them to bow down, to humble themselves so that they can talk about the future of Kenya, it was not for self-aggrandizement. It was for the service of the people. Now they can feel it. The Nairobi governor, Johnson Sakaja, has also echoed his sentiments about this, because he says that only within that one day that people did not go to work, revenue collection was reduced because business in Nairobi came to a standstill. The Nairobi city staff could not collect taxes because basically there was no businesses that were open. So this tells you the seriousness of the mass action that we have been talking about, because the Kenya Kwanza team are only interested in one thing. I have visited, I was checking the social media, and the supporters of William Samoei Ruto are saying that Raila Amolo Odinga could not get entry into the CBD as he had promised his supporters, and to them they feel that this is an achievement. Yet there is one thing that they don't understand. The economy that William Samoei Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua inherited was an economy on its knees. And so they have always cried that they want to maximize revenue collection. They depend on that very small business that Mama Mboga ama watu boda boda will be opening on that day. Now, if this is also shut down, then the Kenya Kwanza supporters don't understand that the government is losing quite a lot. And these are the sentiments that were raised by Rigathi Gachagua himself. We have always said that sometimes people need to sit down to sit on a round table and talk. And when Raila Amolo Odinga, extended an olive branch to them, they thought that they had everything, and they thought that their main agenda was to finish Raila politically. They started chest thumping. Well, there were real issues that Kenyans were to talk about. Now they feel the heat. Very soon, this will escalate even to Tanzania, and because we live in a global world, and our bilateral and multilateral relationships are intertwined in such a way that when there's a problem within one nation or one country, it affects either directly or indirectly other nations. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, as is being urged to talk to Raila Amolo Odinga to call off the demonstrations, cannot, because you all know that Yoweri Museveni and William Samoei Ruto are friends. These are birds of the same feathers. They are sitting presidents, and they always have a culture of scratch my back, I scratch your back. They protect their territory. I have seen some dictatorial tendencies that I've only seen in Uganda, where like yesterday when we had such demonstrations, I saw the police literally lobbing tear gas in a convoy of Raila Amolo Odinga and his supporters, beating supporters who are only demonstrating according to the dictates of the law. They were unarmed and they were innocent people, peaceful and peaceable. I have only seen that in Uganda. I'm saying this from the records. I've not been to Uganda, but there was a time when the then opposition leader Kizza Besigye was beaten up, and I think there was some pepper that was applied in his eyes and he became almost blind. He came for treatment in Kenya. And I've also seen the way the Ugandan administration is dealing with now Bobi Wine, and I'm made to conclude that the level of democracy in Uganda is just pathetic and is wanting. So the only person who Museveni should be told to talk to is his counterpart, William Samoei Ruto. William Samoei Ruto's relationship with Yoweri Museveni started even when he was a deputy president. They have enjoyed a cordial relationship, and so if there is one person who should talk, he should talk to, it is William Samoei Ruto and not Raila Amolo Odinga. Finally, Raila's demands are very simple. Bring down the cost of living. Why did you take away the subsidies and now Kenyans are suffering? Stop the unilateral appointments into the office of the IEBC, because the IEBC does not belong to you, but it belongs to all Kenyans. We see a choreographed plan to manipulate the 2027 elections, and this is something that Raila says that we cannot accept. And then Raila says, open the server, because as it stands, it is Raila's word against William Samoei Ruto's word. William insists that he won the August elections Raila believes he's the one who won. For us to know what happened, then let us open the server. So this thing is going to get out of hands, because now it is gonna take 2 days in a week, and I know Raila will increase it to 3 days in a week. The government will be pressured, but the way they want to deal with this is very wanting. I had some Kenya Kwanza legislators calling upon Raila Amolo Odinga to be arrested. Have you ever imagined that Raila Amolo Odinga has been arrested in this country? Are you solving the situation or escalating the situation further? Because if Raila is arrested, there's going to be a total unrest within the country, and even the neighbors will even feel it further. Let William Ruto allow Kenyans to demonstrate in accordance with the law. Let him open the server. You see, I'm one person who wants to give William Ruto benefit of doubt. He believes he won. Why can't he just open the server so that whoever won continue ruling? Ladies and gentlemen, things will get thicker very soon. And now that it has been felt in Uganda, it will continue. And Ugandans now should brace for even tougher times. And that is my take.